We previously saw an attempt at a Mcprue style case in the way of the Dune Pro. Unfortunately, this was a crowdfunded, and after many years of updates, it seems the owner has fled to Bali, taking this scummy attitude with him. Thankfully, there is another solution. Mcprue are another boutique that have actually brought to market some more Mcprue-esque design cases, and they're actually available now without crowdfunding, so you can get them shipped directly to your door. I have got the Apollo S 3.0 here, which is an ITX form factor over the bigger versions that take bigger motherboards. I also have the additional feet and handles kit that Mcprue offer for $40, which really gives it the Mcprue feel, which I personally really do like. As you can see on the box, there are also two different colour options. Some models only come in silver as well, just worth noting. Before we actually look at the case, I want to talk about the shipping and things like that. This does ship from China and it takes about a week or so. And as you can see, this has had a Chinese to English translation, which has gone a bit dodgy in places. So we've got specification. There's also a couple of others I noticed, like drive support, drove support. A couple of little things that do need to be ironed out, but I have said to Mcprue already about these, and I'm happy to work with them to actually get this fixed and get all the spelling mistakes corrected, because on first impressions, some spelling mistakes don't really give that great of an impression, especially at the price point that this case comes in at, which we'll talk about later. So let's get into the actual case itself. Very thick foam, also not polystyrene as well, so this will travel a lot better than polystyrene. So foam each side, and we also have got a bag for it as well, which is a great thing to see considering it is all aluminium or aluminum. Bit of Velcro on the front to reveal the space grey Apollo S 3.0 that I have here. So let's just take the rest off. There we go. Now the lights are on, so that will give it a bit of a bluish tint. You can just see the time and also the money that goes into this just by looking at the front of it. Let's get you a bit of a closer look. And this was the main thing that I was very interested in when I first saw the Dune Pro. I sent them countless emails as well, and they're always very slow or gave very minor updates to the production and things. And it's very sad to see that it went the way it did, especially as there's so many people that backed it and they've just literally lost all their money. And as you can tell from the intro, the guy has just literally fled with all the money, which is absolutely disgusting. But hopefully those guys can get their money back either by, you know, the PayPal refunds or the chargebacks, and hopefully order one of these instead, because you can clearly see this is an actual product that you can buy. So not all of the people that are making this case are scummy, and Mcprue are actually doing the right thing and making what they say they are. And it looks pretty damn good as well. So just taking those boxes out, it felt like I was trying to do the gold bar out of the container thing, trying to get those out of there. But we have some accessories. One of these are the handles and feet that I mentioned, but in this one we have got some accessories. So really nice machined screws. They are a hex fit. Some additional bits if you want to add any drives, and then also some motherboard screws. You've got the cable to extend to the back of the actual case, and then some zip ties as well. And then in this one, we have got the handles. I have looked at these previously, so they're not actually wrapped up like they were before, but they do look very nice. Let's look at the case itself. It's actually very light considering it's all aluminium. On the top we have got a power button, little tactile button there, and then two USB-C ports. I'm not quite sure how that's going to connect, if we're going to have one header or two, because most motherboards only have one header. Just on each side we've got just plain perforated panels. Of course, the nice CNC on the front. We can support 120mm or 140mm slim fan in the front. I do need to emphasize it is a slim one, not a standard 25mm thick. You will have to use a 15. I've got a slim 15mm Noctua, which I shall use when I use this in a build. I'll talk more about that in a minute. On the bottom here, you've got some support for some additional fans, so you can do a couple of 120mm fans to bring some fresh air in from the bottom. If you'd rather, you can also put a 2.5-inch drive in there and then one 120mm fan. It's up to you on the configuration you choose. Now, also by the bottom, there's a little lip to just put your thumbs under to then take off the panels. They're just using push pins to actually keep those on. So taking that off, we have got here a mount for a up to 280mm AIO, and then also some screws to remove that. So let's just take that off. So that then comes away. Again, aluminium, nice piece there. There we can see where our SFX power supply will go. Then we'll have to route our power connector to the back. For our front panel USB connectors, one goes to a normal Type-C, then one goes to USB 3. So that's my little concern busted, so that's good to see. And we've also got a power switch and also a power LED. So we've got our motherboard support on the right hand side that will go in the inverted position like I mentioned earlier. And then there's also 4 expansion slots for space for your graphics card. Now Mcprue did say to me that they will be doing an M80X version of this case at some point, and I think that's great because M80X is a really nice price to performance, whereas ITX, you're paying a lot more money to get everything crammed down onto that smaller board size. So M80X support I think will be a great thing to see. Down in the front we've got the support for the 120-140mm slim fan, and then going to the back we've got the 4 expansion brackets for a graphics card. They recommend obviously using 3.5 at most. A little Mcprue badge, which is nice, a little riveted one there. Then there's also some grills which you can mount a 92mm fan on if you'd like to. Then at the bottom we've got where our power connector will go, and of course rear I/O for the motherboard. Taking off the other side panel, we have got some hex screws for that SFX mount, so you might actually be able to move it to the bottom. Might allow some different configurations in there as well, so we shall see. Let's talk about pricing for this. This is currently $439. Now, very expensive, but it is CNC milled on the front out of a real solid piece of aluminium, so obviously it's going to incur a lot of cost because of that. It's about £350 for the UK, 350 euros. I've just put a motherboard into the case just so we can simulate some graphics card sizes and limitations. Now you can actually put a 155mm tall tower in. That means you can fit the new Noctua HD15L, which is 145mm high, and I will have a review on this soon, so get subscribed and ding the bell so you didn't miss that. So in terms of limitations, we've got 330mm of space. Then Mcprue also recommend that if you're going to use an NVIDIA card that you do a maximum height card of 143mm, so then you don't have to do a really tight bend on the 12-volt high power cable, which can sometimes damage it. We've got a couple of cards to see which will fit. First of all, we've got the 4070 Ti NVIDIA. This is the tough edition from Asus, that fits without any problems at all. Then the Aero is a very similar size, again 4070 NVIDIA, so that will fit no problems. On the AMD side of things, I've got the 7900 GRE Power Color Hellhound Edition. The 7800 XT has the same form factor and the same cooler as well, so this will also be one that you can try. Now, by default, this won't fit, slightly too wide, but if you were to take out the power supply bracket, as I've done here, you can bring this in an angle and then rotate it into place. So if you're willing to build your system a little bit unconventionally, then you will be able to fit a card like this. Depending on what CPU cooler you're also using, you may have to install the board graphics card and then put your cooler on after. You might be okay with an AIO because you can put the radiator out this way, but for an air tower, it may be something you have to put on after the fact. So just think about it methodically, take your time. But the key things to remember, graphics cards up to 330mm long, 143mm high if you're using NVIDIA, and then 3.5 slots thick. Future Jordan here, just recording this part. I forgot to actually put the handles on, and I thought some of you guys might like to know about that, so we will do that. Now, first of all, we need to take off the feet that are already installed. It's going to be a hex key, but it doesn't look like they include it, so it would be something nice to see it included in the box. But I'm going to have to find the right bit, so bear with me for that. So I had to go into the iFixit kit to unscrew these, but I now have the right bits. So I'm going to presume that we're going to use the same screws for the feet, and then we have got 4 additional screws for the handles, so I'm guessing that's how it's going to be. Now I'll just get off the original feet and we can put the new ones on. So that's those unscrewed. We should now, there we go, be able to lift off the case for the original ones. And then we've got our nice premium feet instead. So very shiny. I'm going to do these upside down I think now, so I'll put the screw in through first and then just thread them on. There we go. I think that looks nicer already. It's also great to have some more space for the airflow to be pulled in if you're going to use any 120s on the bottom as well. So now for the screws and the handles, little countersunk parts in the case already. Hopefully the camera will actually pick that up, so you know where the screws are going to go through, because I was actually wondering which precise hole they were going to be, but if you just actually look from the inside you can see which one it is anyway. I'm going to do the same thing actually and put it through first and then screw it down just till it's in loosely, and do the same for the other side. And I've done the same for the back ones. Then you can actually see the hole that it's going to be. It's slightly wider than the rest. By looking at it briefly you can't really tell, but once you kind of train your eye to it you can see that it's different. And then There we go. So then I'll just do these up fully. So I've got the side panels on now, and you can see it looks very nice all together. I think the handles and the feet really do make it look even more premium. I'm also going to be doing a build in this case, so let me know what spec you'd like to see. I think I'm going to have to go higher end, as it obviously is. The case itself is a premium anyway. I've also just got the Thermaltake SFX 850. This is a platinum unit as well, so a higher efficiency, and also it's got the 12-volt high power cable on there, so that will give you some idea of what we could do there. Then, like I mentioned, we've also got the Noctua and HT50 now, so maybe we could use that. So let me know what you think in the comments box below of the product, and also what kind of spec you'd like to see in the build. Get subscribed and ding the bell so you don't miss that. That'll be coming up very soon. Big thank you, of course, to Mcprue for sending this case out for me to look at. Stay tuned, this build is going to be really nice. Maybe we'll even go on my desk for a little bit as well after. So thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one.